So we're going to be looking at bringing in more youngsters. No excuses, they've got to play with who you have fit. Brian Davies, Ryan Hall lived up to his star billing in last week's Super League pod. Another shocker. Jordan Lilly looks a better prospect than Liam Sutcliffe. Richard Silverwood looks like he's got next weekend off with some dodgy decisions where he seemed to be just guessing. Another one from Carl Render. Danny Brough frustrates me. Arguably, he's the best attacking threat in Super League, especially with his kicks. But on defence, every tackle he does, he seems to be trying to interfere at the ruck more than anyone else, and then cries if he's called on it. Does it annoy anyone else or just me?
Pretty much everything he does on the pitch outside, but no, everything he does on the pitch annoys me. Yeah.
I love that.
I find him intensely irritating.
It's funny that because I find him really quite entertaining. It's a fine line, isn't it?
Well, the difference is, he might not be beating your team in a race for an important game.
Stick it with your arse, I think. Okay,
Mark Steve.
I know. Mark Stevo 72. Hard fought win, not for the purist. Errors and penalties are plenty, but a huge 2 points for us. Cutthroat Jake. Well, that was a scrappy but much needed victory. Was worried when I heard Brough was playing, as he's been our bane on many an occasion. More injuries are not good, especially before the Wigan game. Bob Phillips said it was a lazy afternoon watching back. Hall had a nightmare. Cuthbert wasn't thinking straight. Actually, I think he did very well. Watkins got quashed. The lack of listening to direction when Lilly was yelling and pointing his heart out was saddening. And while a win's a win, it was not a victory. Oh, that was deep. Deep stuff from Robert Phillips. Rich Wilkinson said for the most part Leeds were crap, but the 2 points are welcome. The positives: Cuthbo took it in hard all night and upped the tempo in the second half. Okay. Apart from his defensive,
he's got a bit of a bugbear with me after I've been criticised.
You have been, you have really. You've upset him a little bit, haven't you?
Hey, he's done exactly what I wanted him to do this week, though, Cuthbertson.
Take it in hard all night.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Apart from his defensive misread for the Brough try, he was good. Sutcliffe's try shows he's finding his feet again, and the kind horse always gave 100%. And Andy Barden said, bring on summer rugby. Can't be doing with this cold and wet weather shite.
Mark Stevo tweet reminded me of a tweet he didn't send to us, but I read of his. And the general topic around interchange use and that sort of stuff at Leeds. Jordan Baldwinson didn't come off the bench at all in this game, despite being 2 interchanges short through injury.
Yeah,
I mean, Leeds got away with it. They won the game.
He's a good player as well.
But it's a bit of a waste, isn't it? Do you not think?
No, I agree. It beggars belief. But they've won the game, so they've been vindicated. It's tough. These arguments gather more traction when Leeds are losing games than they're winning them, unfortunately. It remains to be seen how they do next week against Wigan, whether or not they'll do the same. Because I think Wigan are arguably a much different kettle of fish than Huddersfield are at the minute. Over at the plastic pitch then, it was Widnes 30, Hull KR 16. Lots of tries and a bit of a chop and change lead with this one. Hull KR got off to a flying start, and then Widnes pegged them back, Mark.
And then Widnes should have absolutely
rinsed them,
smashed them here. Really, if we're completely honest, the highlights suggest that a couple of the tries might have come from forward passes, so it could have been even closer than just 14 points that 5,000 people saw being the difference between the sides. All I've seen is the try highlights, so I don't know a great deal, but I know from the stats that Widnes had a massive 13 clean breaks compared to Hull KR's 1. And what I know from that is that an average of 42 points difference in favour of the team with 13 or more clean breaks in 2015 happened, and an average of 40 points difference in 2014. Yet Widnes only won this game by 14 points. So what that suggests to me is either Widnes finished poorly, or some credit needs to go to Rovers for their scrambling defence, if not their defensive line play.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to think it's the former rather than the latter.
Really?
With this Hull KR side.
Well,
how do you make 13 breaks and only score 30 points?
Widnes have been pretty clinical this season and have scored quite a lot of points.
They did against the Rhinos, yeah.
And they bagged a few against Salford as well, as I recall.
In defeat.
Yeah, but still they're scoring points.
Yeah,
so
20 points.
If they're getting the breaks...
Oh no, yeah, they're making the chances.
Yeah.
You just got to think, against a better team than Hull KR, they might have been shown up for not taking advantage of the chances.
Well,
the teams had similar amount of possession and similar amount of total tackles were made. Widnes actually made more tackles. What it shows is Widnes was a lot more threatening with the ball in hand, if not clinical.
Yes.
5 tries to 273 more metres, a massive 1.7 metres per carry better average gain.
That's the start.
And those 12 more breaks, 7 more successful offloads. Although 5 more handling errors, 13 to 8 on that count, may explain why Widnes didn't put up a bigger score.
True.
Look, you're not going to hear those numbers about they should have won by 40 points anywhere else this weekend or week.
True. Fair enough. Individually who stood out?
Corey Thompson keeps going well, doesn't he? 2 tries, 1 try assist, 131 metres. Joe Mellor's been outstanding in the early stages of this season, in attack especially. 2 tries, 1 try assist, 148 metres, 3 clean breaks. Reece Hanbury did well, a try, 158 metres. And Chris Bridge continues his good form for his new side. A try assist, 123 metres and 3 clean breaks. So basically, that right hand side.
Yeah. So you're going to talk about players who've got a screw loose. You can't look too much further afield than Chris Bridge, can you?
For the Robins, Thomas Minns with a try, 6 tackles, 100 metres. Benker Kane with 3 try assists. Adam Walker with 113 metres. And Ken Seo with 111 metres.
Very good. Okay, Paul O'Brien, who's a Widnes fan, got in touch with us, said it was another win for the Vikings. Made hard work of it at times. Started the game with 2 knock-ons and KR having the ball for 5 minutes before we conceded. We need to cut out the penalties. Mellor was the standout player. And Paul Ludo Lewis got in touch with us, who's also a Widnes fan. Too many penalties given away, and repeat sets of 6 in our own third. A better team would have punished us. Luckily, KR are pants. Having said that, Mellor, Bridge and Thompson down the right-hand side look awesome, and we're top of the league. Smiley face. All of which means there's only 1 game left to play over the weekend, and it happened on Sunday down at Bellevue. Catalan Dragons were in town, and they won by 42 points to 18 against the hapless Wildcats, who very nearly actually came back. The Catalans got off to a flying start. Wakey pegged them back, and then they just kind of let the Dragons finish them off.
Yeah, remarkably, it was 26-0 after about just over half an hour, I think, maybe just under half an hour.
Yeah.
Then Big Dave Taylor went off. The score flipped around to 26-22. Dave Taylor came back on. Catalan scored on like the next set or something, and the game was over.
The coal train.
Yeah.
Hard to argue.
No.
Hard to argue.
He was definitely on time.
He's putting some numbers up in people's dream teams.
Yeah, 4,400 in attendance, and 70 points scored, so they were entertained. Catalan overcame their own ill discipline and a 14-7 penalty count to rack up a big score from basically taking their opportunities better. They had 7 clean breaks for 1,285 metres, resulting in 8 tries. Wakefield, to be fair to them, had 5 breaks and were able to score 5 tries off the back of those 5 breaks, but 874 metres isn't going to win you many games, and the 13-11 error count probably didn't help their cause either.
Very good. So,
individually, Tony Gigot, 2 tries, 152 metres. Maybe he has found his form, the Frenchman.
Exactly.
Pat Richards with a try and 127 metres. Richie Myler, who was outstanding by all accounts, particularly in the second half spell that the Catalans had. He got a try, 2 try assists, 6 tackle busts and 3 clean breaks. If Richie Myler's breaking 6 tackles against you, you need to
work on
your standards. And Big Dave Taylor, the fat touchy himself, with he's not anymore, is he? Because he's playing in the prop now, probably in the front row, probably where he's belonged for a couple of years, but not quite been coerced to play there.
Yeah.
But now he is doing for the Catalans.
Imagine what the threat of a slaughterhouse visit can do for your motivation, isn't it?
A try assist and 135 metres. For Wakey, it was hard to pick out statistically strong performers. Tom Johnston, though, with a try, 6 tackles, 130 metres and 3 clean breaks, was their standout, and Liam Finn contributed 2 try assists along the way.
Okay, the Wakey White got in touch. It's a decent game at Wakey. Catalan a bit too classy for us at times, but we look good going forward. Plenty to build on. And Brian Davies said that the first 30 that Trin gave away penalties and didn't touch the ball, all Catalan players, as they ran in 26 points. Next 20 minutes, Wakey ran in 22 points, and the last 30 was more even. Trin fans should make the most of Tom Johnson whilst he's with us. Scored a great try, saved a certain try, caught a kick for touch, returned the ball for 60 metres, and caught a short kick off, and nearly scored 2. Yeah, he's definitely the bright spark in this Wakefield outfit for the last couple of years now, isn't he, Tom Johnson?
Yeah, he burst onto the scene last year and then got to show everyone his talents at Magic Weekend, and I don't think he's looked back, but they've got him tied down to a long deal, so you'd think they would make something off him if they are forced to if the hand is forced in terms of suitors coming after young Tom.
Exactly. So what was the tail of the round then, Mark?
Well, close games. Average points difference in the round was only 7, which is remarkable. And also, I noted, after I was able to throw the Wakefield stats into my spreadsheets, that penalties are on the up again. This week, 113. And whilst people love to get on the back of the referees, I think the referees are probably trying to do the best to control things, and the spoilt teenagers of the players are disobeying their parents and teachers and choosing to flaunt the rules anyway, thinking they can get away with it, and they're being held to a higher standard than that.
Okay, and let's talk about the prediction results and Dream Team updates then. How's things been going there?
Well, as you alluded to before, you went 5 out of 6, so strong return to form for you. I went 4 out of 6, so a game behind you.
Not as good as many people though, because I in fact dropped a place this week, so there must have been a lot of 6 out of 6s.
Wow, well, we're both in the lower reaches of the league table on Super Brew. SLP's own version of Stuart Cummins, Paul O'Brien, has risen to the top of the table, just like his Widnes Vikings side, although it was Chris Walsh who took the yellow cap for the best round score. He sits second overall now. In the Dream Team League, Stephen Bowie's back on top, much to my chagrin. After a massive 697 points this week, he's just 8 points clear of me, and I sit in second. Tom's team, your best placed team, which isn't your team that was supposed to be the best placed team.
Yeah, but they're doing very well. I'm taking it seriously.
They cracked into the top 20, sitting 19th. So well done.
There we go. Okay.
Have you done all your 4 transfers already? Then?
No, I've done 3 in both of those 2. I need to bring a few people. I've kept one back. I've kept my powder a little bit dry on that. Okay, let's take a look then at some results from elsewhere in the world of Rugby League. So, other results then. It was the 5th round of the Championship this weekend. Whitehaven were 18 points to 12 winners over Swinton. London had a 29 points to 22 victory over Halifax down at Ealing. And we've got a couple of our friends from the Broncos getting in touch as well. Ian Gatwood said it might not have been the most skillful of games, but seesaw to say the least. Stupid penalty by Halifax gave London the victory, and Chris Macy got in touch and said it was a win that we really had to work hard for, and at times we were our own worst enemy. Besides kicking out on the full and 1 too many handling errors, our biggest issue today was only managing to convert 2 out of 6 tries. Our halves combination today worked like a charm, and I reckon we've signed a right gem in the form of Mark Ione. He was a beast.
Yeah, London's halfbacks took all the plaudits, didn't they, in this one?
Yeah.
It was what's his name? Wesnaguama.
Yeah.
He was the one who couldn't kick any goals.
Which is surprising because he's generally quite a good kicker. Okay, it was Leigh 36, Sheffield 28 in a close game at the top end of the table. Our friend Dan Fowler, who's at DFS Ports 97, he said a decent but error-filled effort by the Eagles today. Thought we were going to nick a point, but it wasn't to be. Have to get back on track next Saturday against Whitehaven. Interesting to see whether Jacks gets recalled after being dropped today. Featherstone were 21 points to 20 winners over Dewsbury in a close West Yorkshire derby, and Batley were 44 points to 12 winners over Workington, and the Oldham Bradford match was postponed, all of which means that Batley and London take advantage of unbeaten Bradford's day off to jump to a tied lead on 8 points. Batley top with just a better points difference. Swinton and Workington in the bottom 2 places remain pointless.
It's really interesting still, though, isn't it? Some really close scorelines there. The Leigh Sheffield game was only polished off right at the very end.
Yeah.
There was a try in the last minute after a decisive penalty. Featherstone Dewsbury. I mean, Dewsbury led for large portions of that one.
Yep.
That along with the London game as well, both very back and forth, very exciting stuff.
It is. Okay, into League One then. It was the first round of League One competition. Toulouse were 54 points to 6 winners over Coventry. North Wales Crusaders lost at home by 18 points to Barrows 37. It was Oxford 22, Newcastle 30. We got some tweets in on this one. Ollie Smith said, really pleased with Oxford today. We showed great character, scored some classy tries, and I'm actually gutted we didn't win. Didn't think Newcastle were up to standard, and the only reason they won was down to more experience in the end. Wouldn't be surprised if they finish in the bottom half this year. And Tim G Radio said it was a good effort by Oxford today. Definite signs of improvement. Fingers crossed for Scholars next week. Elsewhere, it was York City Knights 28, London Scholars 12. South Wales Scorpions lost by 60 points to 4 at home against the Keighley Cougars. It was Rochdale 28, Hunslet 18, and Doncaster 40, Gloucestershire All Golds 8. and Don's fan got in touch with us. He said that the 40 points to 8 score flattered to deceive, with 3 tries in the last 10 pushing the score out. Plenty to build on as we face tougher challenges ahead.